President Trump today discussing immigration reform at a meeting with 6 Rhino Republican senators. Well, most of them at least were rhinos, many of whom have backed legislation that would grant amnesty to tens of thousands of illegal immigrants, perhaps far more. But the president stood firm, saying there would be no deal on DACA without major concessions on critical items on his immigration agenda.
Any legislation on DACA must secure the border with a wall. It must give our immigration officers the resources they need to stop illegal immigration and also to stop visa overstays. And crucially, the legislation must end chain migration.
And joining me now, Ed Rollins, former political director, White House political director under President Reagan, Fox business contributor, great American. Good to have you here.
The president's absolutely right. The security part of this is what we need, and letting more people in is not the secret here. The Democrats want DACA to be extended, and they've got a couple months before it's. They've got to give something up, and the security is the part that's very, very important.
It's strange because the president campaigned on the wall.
Absolutely.
He didn't campaign on DACA.
Right.
And here we are at the beginning of the year. He's talking with 6 effectively, either no name or very little name,
right.
Republicans who have, with the exception of the chair of the Judiciary Committee, they have no chairmanships. Right. I mean, it's just a strange moment.
Well, again, as we've talked on this show, we've had 2 presidents who had both Bush and Obama who had majorities of their own party. And they wanted immigration reform, and they could never get the security part done. And Trump, if he wants to get the security part, has to basically do just what he did.
Why in the world are those folks in that office with the president?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I mean, it is peculiar because we're talking about one of the, right. This is a 4 or 5 number priority for the people.
I want guys in there who basically promise to fulfill the security requirements the president campaigned on and got elected on. And the wall is not just a symbol. The wall is basically a battle for the security of our borders.
You know, I love when people talk about, the wall could be anything. It's symbolic. It's all of this. The president didn't talk about a symbolic wall. He didn't talk about it being anything. It's very clear. You were there. So when President Reagan signs amnesty in 1986, what was his greatest regret after doing so? Was
doing the amnesty bill, because the part of letting people in and letting people be citizens who are here illegally was completed. But the part that was not completed was the security or the employment ratification. Yeah. And he and Alan Simpson, who was part of the Simpson-Mazzoli bill, said it was the biggest regret they ever had.
And, then you fast forward to even Bill Clinton, 1996. The next, every 10 years you want to try to get something done on this. I mean, it's the same thing. They sold out the border, the sovereignty of the country for cheap labor. And by the way, make no mistake, this is all driven by the need of corporate America, particularly for cheap labor.
Well, equally as important, every one of these young people who are here under DACA basically came in as illegals when the law was in existence. So if you
how many are there, do you think?
They say 800,000. I have no idea.
Do you know what?
We have no idea.
Not one of those people pushing DACA will sit down and say, well, all we need is some sort of standing for this number of people, because they're lying through their teeth and they're distorting the numbers. And they're saying, well, they only applied for 300,000 jobs. We know one thing, even as Schumer is talking about deadlines, there are about 300,000 of those who have signed up under DACA who have until November to work out their visas. So there's no deadline here, March or whenever the...
Equally as important, you don't want to confuse the budget negotiations. You don't want to let the Democrats have the gun to his head. And I think at the end of the day, he needs to say, I'm not dealing with DACA at this point in time. Let's get the budget. Let's get the things that are important right now.
Well, help me out on something. What was the last bill a Democrat voted for in the House or the Senate under President Trump?
I don't know of any.
I don't either. So what is the conversation
So
about?
It's probably some post office that they named somewhere across the country for some Democrat.
I'll bet you they were pretty careful about that. It looks like with the judge demanding that Fusion GPS turn over its bank records to the House Intelligence Committee, that's a very big deal. Because it means the federal government may actually be home to the sovereign power of this nation.
Well, I hope it is, and obviously this judge is...
Where it has priority and power over even a smear merchant like Fusion GPS.
Well, that story needs to be told, and who the sponsors were, where the money was coming from, is very, very important. So, good.
And we can't wait to see that, can we?
No, we can't.